Welcome back. So today things are looking pretty darn bright. This is not my usual time. I told you guys, I warned you guys, it's gonna be a little bit late, but better late than never. Look at Bitcoin. We are starting out the day over $110,000. That is fantastic. And on the side, you can see Ethereum's up 4%, Sui's up 5%, XRP Sol ADA around 1 to 2%. Today we're seeing some pretty darn good moves. And there's one major reason, a new company buying Bitcoin, that is kind of causing things to go up. Before I get to that, the US market is also pretty positive today. Plus 600 for Dow, plus 400 for NASDAQ. So overall, pretty good day, pretty good start so far. And it's mostly because of two things. One, there's more talks about this U.S. EU trade negotiation. Yesterday, I talked about how the U.S. was go positive 50% tariffs placed on EU, hopefully to get a deal going. And today, it seems like there's more progress. So obviously, the more deals that gets made, the better it is overall for the economy and for markets. So this was a big reason why we went up today, and also consumer confidence for May was also stronger than expected because people are thinking that there will be more trade deals being made in the future. So these two things are causing the market to go up, and this is just again. The markets are going to be up and down. Last week, we did have a pretty bad week for markets overall. So, this also could be because there's too much profit taking last week, and now, Wall Street's buying back. Whatever the case, right? Today we're starting up, and we're starting green, and it's looking good. Now, in addition to this also came out. Okay, Donald Trump's own media company is going to buy $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. This is narrative. I've been talking about this narrative for quite some time now. Um, More and more companies are turning to Bitcoin, right? With what's happening in the bond market, with what's happening overall with our deficit, our problems financially in the US and worldwide. And 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 worries about inflation and still these tariffs and everything. People are now looking for something better, and they're looking at Bitcoin, right? And now every single week we hear about new companies put in like millions or tens of millions or hundred millions or billions into Bitcoin, and every single purchase takes Bitcoin out of supply. It's that simple, right? Obviously, Trump and his family has been very pro crypto, right? And this really doesn't surprise me, although others are calling out the fact that Trump and his family shouldn't be making so much money with all the crypto activities they've been doing, like the dinner, for example, right? But when it comes to Bitcoin, it's the big daddy. It's the one asset that all companies should hold in their treasury because it's proving itself to be a great store of value and the ultimate hedge against inflation, right? So this is really, really good for Bitcoin. Another 2.5 billion will be removed from circulation. Awesome. And this comes right before the big conference, right? Bitcoin conference is today. Today's industry day. Tomorrow is like the big conference. So, can Bitcoin break the curse? I would say so. I mean, it's just a coincidence. Last few years, Bitcoin conference brought Bitcoin down just because, bad conditions, crypto winter, all that. We are no longer in those conditions. We are at all-time high. And today we may even break 110 and go to 112 and continue forward, right? I'm looking forward to it because I think this year we're going to hear more big news come out of the conference. I mentioned that yesterday, right? Maybe Vance is going to announce something. Maybe Loomis is going to announce something else. They may be preparing something big to be released at the conference. So looking forward to it. You got Cantor Fitzgerald, right? Lutnick's old company. They're debuting a Bitcoin lending company or business, I should say. So they're getting involved. I mean, everyone's getting involved, guys. Vivek's um, asset management, Strive just raised $750 million to buy Bitcoin. Again, billion here, 750 million there. Like it just continues, right? Every single day, you're getting more and more and more and more good news and purchases about Bitcoin. So do the math, right? This is the reason why Bitcoin is so strong, why Bitcoin is going higher. And there's something else 427 billion, okay, will be bought by 2026. That's a whole lot by institutions. Of course, we're getting more than just institutions buying Bitcoin, right? We have public trade companies, we have privately held companies, we have long-term holders. Again, if you're not a believer at this point, you really need to open your eyes and start paying attention. What's happening now in this cycle is very different than previous cycles. We're not just going up due to retail speculation. All previous cycles, basically, Bitcoin only went up because retail speculation, retail investors and long term holders thought that, okay, this is a good time to buy, good time to hold, and then dump. It's no longer like that. Retail's not leading the space. The big boys are leading the ways and the buying. So you got to pay attention to what they're doing because they're playing catch up right now, but in a big way, especially since 93% of the supply is already gone. Everyone's fighting for 7% that's going to be released over 100 years. So that's almost a non issue going forward. It's really about what exists now. And so much of it is being removed every single day. It's really that simple. All right, last few things about Bitcoin and just a few altcoin news. Next stop, I've talked about it. Many people have talked about it. What is the next stop for Bitcoin? Probably around the 130,000 mark. Even according to this, the golden ratio multiplier shows that Bitcoin is going to head to about $130,000, right? So once we break out, we're very close to our previous high. And even ChatGPT said this. If we are able to break 112, we're going to head to that next stop, which is right around 130,000. So that could be coming later this week, guys. It seems like we've talked about it for quite some time, but get ready. It may be coming, right? Even though this cycle is very, very different than previous cycles, there are a lot of similarities as well in terms of how we're moving. And even with all the volatility and the macro conditions and everything else that's different, right? But Bitcoin seems to be moving at times in the same direction, the same trajectory as previous cycles. So if that's the case, once we hit 130, that's not going to be actually according to this one, we're going to hit 140 next, and then we will head into the top, which may be at 200,000 or beyond, right? So just gotta have patience. Just continue to hold on DCA. It's really that simple. There's no other magic formula. Now, in terms of some altcoin news, MetaMask finally integrates Solana into their wallet, which is a big deal. They already support them. This is like now supporting them natively, okay, which means a lot of the Solana ecosystem stuff can now work properly in MetaMask and all these other stuff, right? Because Solana obviously is the one of the big chains out there. Phantom has done really well supporting Solana, and MetaMask is like, you know what? We need to respond in kind. So good for them and good for Solana. 21 shares files for first ever SUI ETF. That's also big. Sui obviously still trying to recover from the CETUS hack last week, but the ecosystem is still strong. And if they get an ETF, just like Solana and XRP and others, this will help them tremendously going forward because those ETFs will be pulling in billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. There's no doubt about it. And then lastly, Circle is going forward with IPO with a 6.7 billion valuation. Ripple was trying to buy them. I believe Ripple offered them even like $11 billion. But it seems like Circle turned it down and they still want to go IPO because they think they're worth more than that. And Circle, of course, is one of the biggest stablecoin holders, and they have a close relationship with Coinbase as well. So, another big crypto giant that'll be trading on the US stock market soon. And this could also be a good catalyst for the entire industry, especially if the Genius Act gets passed soon that deals directly involved with stablecoins. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. I know this is late, but still, there you go. This is the reason why we're doing well today. And I believe the rest of this week will be good as well. So I guess we'll see. All right. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye bye.